Hey guys, it's Tessa. So today I'm doing something really fun. Firstly, ignore my hair. I just got out of the shower, it's wet still, and I want to start this project and I can't until I talk to you guys. So that's why we're doing it this way. But I'm really excited for today's video because I'm finally making a me project. I've been in a little bit of a crafting slump since the start of the year. So last time when I went to the yarn store, which I think was Michael's was the last one I went to, I ended up buying some yarn while I was there, which I don't usually buy Michael's yarn. I say it as I got a ton of Michael's yarn. I don't usually buy their yarn unless it's a really good sale, but I was there for a planner and that was on a really good sale. So I was like, well, I still have room in the budget, so I had to get something. So I got 2 cakes of the Karen Macchiato cakes in the color Fleeting. Oops. In the color Fleeting, so it's like this purpley, mauve, lavendery tones. I bought 2 of them. They're 481 yards each, which means it's roughly 962 yards in total. I know I do not have enough of this yarn for between the 2 cakes to make like a full sweater. So I think my plan is to make, or I'm going to use the TinCan Knits Flax Sweater as the base for this pattern, or for this cropped sweater I'm making. But I'm not going to do the shoulder design or the arm design because I don't personally like I don't love the way that looks. And then also, instead of just doing it as flat knitting, I'm going to be doing the broken rib stitch instead. I made a little sample. I'm real happy about it so far. So here is our little sample guy. I think it looks amazing. I think it looks great. I think I'm gonna love it. But I'm gonna make a cropped version of the flax flax sweater. Oh my gosh. I've been thinking about cardigans, okay, so that's why my brain's here. I think this is more what I'm excited about, but anyway. I also finally figured out how to do German short rows. I cannot explain. So I've been doing knitting I've known how to knit for probably around 10 years, and I've only actually started knitting in the last 6 years. But in that entire time, I've not understood how to do short rows until I literally just watched a TikTok today to figure out how to do it. So this swatch was done initially normally as just a straight swatch, but then I was testing the short rows video that I saw, and it worked, guys. Oh my gosh, I am so excited, honestly. You can't even use only one stitch. That looks kind of funny, but it's because this yarn's another roving type. So I think I just caught it weird when I was doing it. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started on this, and hopefully my goal is to finish it within a week. Because all I'm doing is a cropped length in the sleeves. So it shouldn't be too difficult. And it should be able to use all the yarn I have. I'm also using 6mm needles instead of 5 like the pattern notes. So I'm hoping as well that'll kind of work in my favor versus against me. But yeah, that is what we're working on today. I am going to frog my little swatch, pull up my pattern, and get started on the yoke. Okay, so last night I got through the majority of the yoke, or the first part of it really. I think I've only done 7 or 8 rows this morning so far. But the broken rib is really coming out nice. You can see it looks really nice overall. I'm still on the first skein, but I only have this much left. So I'm getting a little nervous. So I think my plan is to finish before the part up to separating the sleeves, and then use whatever I have left to complete the body before the ribbing, because I'm hoping at that point I can get enough actual length out of it, and then start the sleeves in the second ball of yarn, and hope I should be able to use the second skein to do both sleeves completely and still have some left over. So I think my plan is do what I can with the first skein for the body, all the way down to the rest of the body, except for the ribbing. And then I think with the second skein, I'm gonna do both the sleeves. I should have yarn left over after that. And if that's the case, I will add it to the body and see how much farther we can go. So I'll check in once I separate for the sleeves. Night 2, I finished this much. I'm basically right before the finishing of the yoke. I have to do, I think, 2 more rows where I'm just increasing on the 2 body pieces or 2 body sections, and then I knit until it's about 10.5 inches long, short row section. But yeah, and currently, because I'm delusional, this is how much yarn we have left. So my current goal is to finish with this ball up to the finishing of the yoke. Because if I can get there, then I can use the second ball to do the majority of the body or get all the body done, and then have enough for 3/4 sleeves at least, and it should be fine. Or I might try to go to Michael's today to get a 3rd ball of this yarn, which I highly doubt because I think they only had 2 of these when I went there last. And my Michael's very rarely restocks the same colors for the Karen cakes. So that's the new game plan. Ignore how crazy my hair looks, but I think we're on day 3 of this sweater. I hope. I was finally, oh my god, finally able to separate last night for the sleeves. So that's been done. I'm also keeping a fancy little design. Basically for the shoulders, I'll show you. Or where I was doing all of the raglan increases, I have these 4 stitches here, or 2 stitches on each side, so 4 in total, that goes straight through. So what I'm keeping about that is I'm going to put or keep the 2 stitches on either side down the body and down the sleeves. So currently I only have a few more rows left to go before those take point and are all back next to each other. Honestly, I think this creates like a really cute design. It almost looks like a gusset under the sleeve or under the armpit, but it's not. But I'm doing it on both sides. Hopefully I'm gonna have it figured out or done soon. I'm still on the first ball of yarn, which is baffling, let me tell you. I have roughly this much left, which is probably only gonna get me another few rows, to be completely honest. I still haven't touched the second skein yet, so game plan, I've said this like 100 times, but game plan now is finish the first skein, figure out how, try on the thing, see how it's looking, kind of go from there. I think I'm really okay with having 3/4 sleeves, but I think that's the shortest I'm willing to go. In a perfect world where this works out nicely and I have no problems, I can do full length sleeves, maybe with a little bit of extra length on them because I like that style, and then do like a decent crop length. In a perfect world, the ribbing's not starting directly below my chest, but probably another 4 inches after that, just so that if I lift my arms at all, it's not the end of the world. But again, that's all gonna kind of depend on what happens with this guy here. But that is what I am working on right now. Goal for today, finish the first ball of yarn, figure out where we're going. I'll check it again soon. I finally got through the first ball of yarn. I tried on our sweater and it's still a little short. So I think my current plan, because I have D&D tonight, I think my current plan is to at least double the amount of rows I have here, which I think is like roughly 12 or maybe more than that. Double the number of rows I have there, because currently when I position it nicely and it like sits correctly, it's just below my bust, and I want it a decent bit longer than that, just in case. And then, like I mentioned, on the on this section as well, where I kept the 4, you can't even see that, where I kept the 4 knit stitches in a row, I think what I'm gonna do, I don't know what this style is called, but I think what I'm gonna do is when I get down to the ribbon, I'm going to separate the body into 2 panels from 2 of each of those stitches. 2 of each of the 4 next to each other are going to be on one side while the other's on the other side. And then the ribbing will just be separated as like a panel of its own, or 2 panels. I think it'll look nice. I've seen it done on other cardigans, not cardigans. I've seen it done on other sweaters, mostly on ones that have more of like design features for that or have long ribbing. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that really. But I know for a fact I will not need a lot of yarn to do the sleeves, so I'm really not worrying about them. I think my game plan is do the body. Get the body done. I can't remember if I checked in last night or not, so I'm checking in now. I have completed probably like 3 inches or so of the body. I also have a pile of yarn that you kind of can't see, but it's whatever is, basically it's 77 grams of yarn because these cakes are 277, so I'm allowing the first 77 to go to the body, and then I will temporarily cut the yarn, work on the sleeves, and then anything I have left over after that point will be for the ribbing or the rest of the body. I think that's just going to be the only way I can get away with getting the desired fit I want, but that is kind of where we're at right now. Very exciting. Work was a little bit longer today than usual, and and we ended up running to a card shop near us because we have a couple friends coming over this weekend who are learning to play Magic. It's gonna be so much fun. But anyway, we have 2 friends coming over this weekend that are playing Magic. It's gonna be really fun. So we went to that card shop today, and we also happened to stop by Michael's because I was like, what's the worst that could happen? They either won't have a skein of the yarn I need for my sweater, or they will, and that'll be that. Bitches, guess what? They had a skein. They had one more skein. They literally had this one, and this was the last one of this color. The last one, okay? The last one. So now, new plan alert. I spent a week panicking and being anxious over nothing. I'm gonna do a full body and full sleeve. That's it. That's all the new plan is. I think it's gonna take me a week longer to make now though because of that. So I'm gonna get going on the body. I did a decent bit more, I'd say. I got through, I said 77 grams previously. I meant to say 27 grams. Basically these skeins are 227 grams large, heavy, I don't know the word. But what I said in that last clip is completely wrong. I pulled out of the initial skein whatever made the skein equal 200 grams. So that was a total of 27 would be used on the body before I moved to the sleeves. But now I don't need to do that, and I can actually just knit this damn sweater to be a sweater, which is really exciting because I either like fairly high cropped sweaters or I like them really long. Because I like that like bunching effect you can do, and I feel like you can only really do that with longer length sweaters in general. Anywho, not the point. Game plan, finish the damn body of the sweater using the full skein I have, or not the full skein I have, the skein I was working from, skein number 2. And then using skein number 3, I'll do the sleeves. That's the plan. I will check in again when I have the body done. Part of me really badly wants to temporarily pause on the body to do one of the sleeves so I can get a good idea of how long it's supposed to be. I don't know if there's really a point in that, just because I'll have two yarns, what is this called? Working yarns. I'll have 2 working yarns going at the same time, and knowing me, that'll confuse my teeny weeny little brain. So I think the plan is then finish the body and then do the sleeves. I think, oh my gosh. Not me messing up my knitting in the middle of talking about my knitting. And then I think at that point, I think I can finish the body over the weekend. And then I think I can finish the sleeves. I'm afraid of hitting sleeve island, so I'm gonna try to do knitting 2 at a time in the round, which is kind of hard, but I'm gonna try it. And so I think those will take me at least a couple days. My workload's gonna increase a tiny bit throughout this week, so I don't know if I'll have a lot of time. I don't know if I'll be ending my work early enough to get a decent amount of knitting done each day. So I think that is the game plan, is to finish the body. I think I didn't show you guys this, or at least I didn't show it to you fully. So I ended up saying, like I told you, I did that stitch there so that all 4 of the like little decorative piece on the raglan increases would be there, but you can see that I did it maybe a little too fast. So there's a little bit of a gapping occurring right here. I think my solution honestly for that is just to go back in with some yarn and basically fix it so it's not gapping so much. But that is the plan for now, is to finish the body. Okay, so I have finished the ribbing in the body. It's buckling a little bit, as you can kind of see, but I'm pretty sure blocking will really help with that. The only problem, I guess, or the concern I have, is I believe this yarn is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So I think my first game plan, once it's finished, is to steam it, see if that helps anything at all. If it doesn't, wet block it. It's a tiny bit shorter than I'd like it to be personally, but I don't think I could deal with having to continue working on the body anymore today or ever. It just kind of felt like there was no progress being done for a very long time, so it was driving me a little bit crazy. But I think to circumvent that for the sleeves, I'm gonna do those 2 at a time, because I think that will help save my sanity for at least a little bit. So I think today, it's already 9 p.m. So I think I'm going to try and at least cast on all the sleeve stitches onto my needles. I don't have to like actually start doing anything with it yet, but I think I might just do that part to get it over with. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I think I'm also not going to do the gusset piece. I guess I kind of have to though if I want to keep those stitches together. I don't know. I'm just gonna think about that some more. Plan is for tonight, cast on all my stitches. I finished the first sleeve. It does need to be blocked, however, because the sleeve's a little short and the body's a little bit short, but I think that's a me issue versus like I don't have enough yarn. I also have, I think, plenty of yarn to do the second sleeve, which is just on a pair of my cables right now. And I think I have enough as well, or I think I will have enough after to make the body a little bit longer, which I think is something I want to do, but it'll all depend. But yeah, we have the first sleeve done. How exciting. I'm gonna finish the second sleeve and then we'll check in again after. So I finished the sweater. I think it looks great. Here's it on. Oops. So I do plan on blocking it. I think I'll do that tomorrow. I tried steam blocking it, but I think because it's the acrylic wool mix, it's gonna be better if I try to wet block it instead. I don't really know. But the sleeves are a tiny bit short in my opinion. They come up directly to the edge of my wrist. I would prefer if they were more like this, like covering my hand slightly. And I also feel like the length is a little bit to desire. But I do have a bunch of this yarn left. So if I really want to, I can just redo. So if I really want to, I can just redo the body using the extra yarn I have. But I'm a liar. I said I was gonna do these sleeves 2 at a time. I didn't. It was way too confusing and way too much strain on my cables. So instead, I just wrote down each row what I did on the first sleeve and mimicked it perfectly, or I think almost perfectly, on the second sleeve. But overall, I think this turned out great. The colors may be a little bit wider than I'd prefer, but I also did very few rows for the collar, so that kind of doesn't help. But I do think this was great progress, or it's a great outcome for some future projects I have going on. But you'll find out more about that in the next couple videos. But if you enjoyed watching me make this sweater, or you have any questions about it, or you want to make one yourself, feel free to leave me a question below or comment below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!